Going.
Are we both okay? Okay, so we're sitting here today, and I would like to introduce, this is Mary Bishop. Mary actually lives here in Arvada, Colorado, and we're very, very fortunate to find her. We are doing a Senior Queen Fairy Day contest, and actually we found Mary through a friend of a friend, and Mary was actually Queen Fairy Day on February 3rd, 1953. And Mary explained to us how she actually arrived there. Actually, her aunt and her landlord at that time had told Mary that there was a show, Queen for a Day, and they insisted that she go, and Mary had just had triplets, bless her heart. By the way, it was natural delivery, which I was amazed to find out today. And she was doing all the diapers by hand. Back then, of course, no disposable diapers, and she needed a washing machine. So the aunt and the landlord had insisted that Mary go to the show. She'd been living there in California. Her husband was actually just home from Korea, and unfortunately the military had dismissed him because they had 3 kids. So they were out and out, and Mary had told me they were living on, who would say today, macaroni and cheese.
That was Lipton noodle soup. One bowl a day.
Noodle soup. And so Mary had told us that she went to the studio up in Los Angeles, and they had her stand in line, and she actually said there was about 50 people in line, and then they basically had cards they filled out in line, and they took the top 21 cards, and then they went ahead from there, took those 21 cards and dropped it down to the top 5. And the top 5 then were on the show Queen for a Day. And the MC was Jack Bailey, who I will show you a picture of later, who I would say looked like he was aggressively almost hitting on Mary in the picture. Again, she was quite beautiful at 19 years old, and Jack was looking like he was probably, what, in his 40s?
I think he may have been, yes.
And he looked like he was definitely in love with Mary. So Mary, tell us, if you would, again, that day that you remember, maybe starting in line, and then how they brought you in and selected you.
The line was relatively long, and there were people associated with the show who came out and brought cards to each person in line, not necessarily a prospective contestant, but everyone in line, asking why you wanted to be Queen for a Day. And so I wrote down I needed a washer. And I don't know what other people wrote down, but they went through all the cards as the people went through the door. The people from the show collected the cards, and then as we were seated, the people with the show went through the cards and read every one of them. Out of all those cards, they selected 21 people to interview, and they did. And as they were interviewed, then again there was a selection done, and 5 people were selected to be contestants on the show. And I was fortunate to be one of them. So as they put us on the stage, they seated us at a table, and there was a microphone in front of each of us, and they asked us again why we wanted to be Queen for a Day.
So this is live TV, though?
This is live television, okay. Yes.
And Jack was interviewing me.
Jack was interviewing me, and another person with this program, whose name I have sadly forgotten. But yes, the 2 of them interviewed each of us. And I remember one of the ladies of the 5 asked for a telephone call. Her mother was ill. She was in the Philippines, and she hadn't been able to talk to her. Long distance rates were quite high. And she wanted to talk with her or go see her, better still, because she hadn't connected with her in the longest time, and her story just broke my heart. I thought, oh, I hope she wins. She was so needing and so sweet and unassuming. And I, sad to say, I don't remember what the other contestants had requested. But I said, I really need a washer. I have 3 babies, and I'm washing diapers in the bathtub. And when you have 3 dozen diapers a day, that's a considerable amount of work. And I wasn't sure how clean I was getting them. So as they were finished interviewing each of us, it was an audience participation. And so it was by audience choice that there were the selections done,
So they would hold their hand over your head or something and they would
Yes,
apply?
yes. And as luck would have it, I was chosen, and I was kind of astonished and thrilled to pieces. And they gave me a sewing machine, which I asked if they would give to the lady who needed a phone call so that
That's
she
sweet.
could make her call, and they said no. There were people who would call into the program after seeing it who would donate some of the things that were needed, and I was
Wow.
gratified by that.
Sure.
And they gave me a freezer full of food, which was wonderful, and a year's diaper service.
Oh,
I
I didn't know about
neglected
that.
to mention that.
Oh my gosh.
A year's diaper service from Tidy Didy.
Oh, tiny tiny.
Yes. Oh, what a blessing.
And a washer and dryer.
And the washer and dryer too, yes. And 3 lamps and 2 rugs, and a new dress and a watch, and an all-expense paid trip to San Francisco.
So let me interrupt you a second. So after they selected you, if I remember right, they put you up on a throne.
Oh, yes, yes. And it was really elegant. There was this lovely golden throne, and they wrapped this velvet ermine trimmed cape around me and crowned me and gave me 2 dozen beautiful American Beauty long-stemmed roses. I really did feel like a queen.
Oh.
It was wonderful.
And then you started to say, I interrupted you, they gave you an all-expense trip to
San
San Francisco. And you had mentioned to me you were concerned about going with the triplets.
Right, because I didn't want to leave my babies.
Right.
And they said if I wanted to go, that they would furnish a nurse to care for my children. And the nurse who had taken care of them in the premature nursery said that she would do that. And so we paid her, and between her and my aunt, I knew that my husband and I could go. And, you know, he needed a vacation. Korea was not exactly a fun vacation.
Right.
So we got to go to San Francisco on a train.
On a train.
Yes. And we were wined and dined in the most fantastic places. And we were Sonia Henney's guests at the Cow Palace.
Wow.
And they took us to Chinatown. We went to all kinds of nightclubs. We went and saw Harry Belafonte.
That sounds a treat.
It was just an amazing piece of our lives that, you know, one that you never forget.
Mm-hmm. Well, Mary, I thank you so very, very much for being so kind to open your home to us and sharing your favorite day. I am so excited to run across you, and you are still beautiful, beautiful,
So
beautiful.
Thank you.
I'm amazed by you. And so we are going to go ahead and ask anybody that is looking to become our senior queen for a day to go ahead and contact us. And you can go to our website at seniorsreload.com. And again, we appreciate your time, and I just love Mary, and I'm delighted with you, and you are still a queen in my book.
Oh, thank you, Gary. This has been a nice experience and very unexpected.
It's very, very nice. So again, thank you very much, and we will look forward to entering you in our contest and see what happens.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mary.